This is just crazy. A recent article about Lakers guard Max Christie puts a lot of unfair criticism on him as a player without providing proper context on what he truly brings to the Lakers. Also, the Lakers just made a very underrated hire that could look to tackle one of the biggest issues that's been plaguing the Lakers for years now. What's good? I'm Okechi Apakama, and this is Lakers Digest, coming at you with another video. And before we get into everything we have for you for today's video, guys, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to get those Laker updates. Now, without out of the way, let's hop straight into today's topic, as Max Christie is receiving criticism. So, there was a recent article put out by a spectacular writer, John Hollinger, through The Athletic and through the New York Times, stating about a bunch of moves, about the recent extensions of who were like under scrutinized moves, and then Max Christie found his name on that list, which was kind of surprising in my regard, because Max Christie, to me, there was a lot of things that constituted to his season, and that was more to do with, say, coaching than it was for his play, because I don't think he really got the opportunity to show what he can truly do. But this is a little bit of what Hollinger said in his article there. And so he stated a couple reasons why Max Christie's extension was not a good number for the Lakers. As he stated, the problem A is they tried him quite a bit. That's playing time, as he played 944 minutes across 67 games. And then he also stated he wasn't any good, stating his 8.4 player efficiency rating. And then also C, he couldn't crack the full rotation of what was arguably the worst bench in the league. Thus, it is a bit shocking to see the Lakers commit to a 4-year, $32 million deal to bring him back, including a 4th-year player option. Talking to some other people around the league, I don't think I'm alone in this opinion. Christie is only 21, had an excellent 2023 Summer League, and is a good athlete, but he's a basic hazy outline of a 3-and-D guy. Paying him a room exception type money feels like a reach when an actual 3-and-D guy struggled to get more than any of that this summer with players with a player option, exclamation point. Nonetheless, in a Washington Wizards rebuilding situation, you might be more inclined to look the other way, which is, I think, a big slight, because taking a slight at the Lakers investing in a young guy in Max Christie, and he was kind of going on just about how the Lakers should be in that win now mode, and I understand that, but that's where you also have to invest in some of these younger guys, because you're going to need those young legs, especially when it comes to that long grind that an 82-game season demands. And Max Christie, to me, always seemed like that perfect type of fit for the Los Angeles Lakers, but he just didn't get the opportunity he deserved. And then some of those numbers can be very misconstruing, because the type of lineups that Max Christie plays doesn't really optimize it to where he would be optimized best as a player. So if we take a look at his just counting stats just for the season, his averages, and they aren't too impressive, and from the outside looking in, it doesn't look like he's doing too much for the Los Angeles Lakers, obviously, because he's not getting too much playing time, and he's averaging just about 4 points per game with about 2 rebounds per game. And then the percentages are okay. 42% from the field can be better, and then 35% from the 3. But like I said, there is a lot of things that constitute to role players, and statistics don't always pull the full story, because you're missing what type of players they're playing with. Because Max Christie, for the most part, since he wasn't playing with the regular guys or even some of the bench rotation guys, he was subjugated to some of these units with the rookies. So this is guys like Jalen Hood-Schifino, guys like Maxwell Lewis, Colin Castleton, guys who were spending most of their league in the G League just playing for the Lakers. And those are the times where like Max Christie would get some of those minutes, and those groups for the Lakers were not good at all. But why would you expect them to be good? Because they're a bunch of rookies trying to learn how to play in the NBA. And then Max Christie, while he's a second-year player, still trying to learn how to play in the NBA himself, he still has that year under him. And then he also had that summer league where he played really well for the Lakers and was on that all-summer league second league team. But that's why I think it's kind of weird to poke at Max Christie and some of the things. He also went a little bit deeper into that article there, saying from the perspective of Christie was an opportunity cost, because a $7.1 million cap for Christie essentially took the Lakers out of using their taxpayer mid-level exception, which still staying below the second apron, that the latter consideration which is necessary to keep in realistic season trade flexibility alive, which is why James took a slight haircut on the max on his new deal. Also, the $5.2 million MLE could have been used to target badly needed bench upgrades instead of running it back with almost entirely the same group. Laker exceptionalism has its limits, but a smallest exception like this historically has been much more a valuable chip in LA than other places because A, it's the Lakers, B, you're playing next to James and his Fungoons, and then also at risk even the risk of Christie walking, that seems like a better gamble at this point in the roster's cycle. So there are some things that I agree with that, and that was, yes, the Lakers could have definitely used a taxpayer MLE to help upgrade that bench in some way or fashion, but also letting Christie walk isn't the answer to getting better, because like I said, you're going to need some of these guys through that 82 game haul of a season where not every guy on your roster is going to be healthy at every point. So that's where guys like Max Christie, who has shown that he can play in spurts and with the right grouping, so he's not with those rookies, but you put him next to guys who are good ball creators. So say like a guy like a D'Angelo Russell could be a nice pairing with Max Christie in the backcourt, because D'Angelo Russell knows how to set guys up for three-point shots and then is really good finding guys also in early transition. Also, LeBron James is also a terrific player to be next to if you're a 3-and-D player. And Max Christie didn't have too much time unless he was thrown into the starting lineups in some of those starts that he got there early in those early parts of the season. So there's a lot of things that are kind of like missed in this whole context of the story. So it's really missing that Max Christie just wasn't really put in those correct and proper lineups to really thrive as a Laker player. And that's why some of his numbers and stats don't look to where they need to be. Granted, he is only still just turned 21, so he's still a young player in this league. And most of these guys don't usually get it until like that fourth year, and that's when they figure out what they can do in the NBA and what they can do at this level. But that's probably going to be it for this story here. But let's go on to this next story, as this has kind of been under the radar for the Lakers, as the Lakers made a new hire to combat injury woes. So the Lakers just made a new hire, which I think a lot more people should be aware of, as they just hired a man by the name of Dr. Leroy Simmons as Director of Player and Health Performance. As the Lakers announced, they appointed Dr. Leroy Simmons, MD, as Player of Director Health, Performance and Health. Dr. Simmons will report to Vice President of Basketball Operations and General Manager Rob Pelinka, and he will oversee players' medical care and optimizations of health and performance. Dr. Simmons most recently served as Senior Vice President and Head of Medical Operations at the NBA, where he developed and implemented innovative health and safety protocols, investigated medical technologies to optimize basketball experience, and conduct medical risk assessments. He is board certified in emergency medicine and primary care sports medicine, and was key as served as a team physician and was key member as of the team who executed the medical operations for the NBA bubble in 2020. Dr. Simmons serves as a team physician for USA Track and Field at the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympics, and provided direct medical support for Team USA Basketball for 2020 in Tokyo and 2024 in Paris. From 2011 to 2024, he served as medical director and team physician for the Golden State Warriors. And so there's also a little bit more on his background there, as he got his master's and his doctorate degree from Stanford, and then he was also had his residency right here in California at Harbor UCLA Medical Center in Torrance, California. So for those of you who aren't too privy to doctors and such, so this guy has actually been around the game for quite some time, and he was a huge figure when it came to building up that NBA bubble and having it very safe for all the players, workers, and people within that operation. So there was a lot of things that he's been doing for quite some time, and he's a guy that kind of seems like a dude that doesn't sleep, as he's been taking on these very high-level challenges and tasks throughout the past couple of years, obviously with the pandemic that was recently dealt with, and then just more recently as being the main person for Team USA Basketball. So the Lakers definitely hired a stud in this industry, and the Lakers are a team that has struggled for the past couple of years, mostly because of a lot of injuries to their key players. And I'm looking at last year. Obviously, we had LeBron James and Anthony Davis healthy for most of the season, but some of our key role players missed time. Guys like Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, just to name a few. And all those guys kind of hurt the Lakers missing time because they weren't able to get the reps and really add to this Laker team in some way or fashion. And then also LeBron James and Anthony Davis. These are guys who have had injury history with the Los Angeles Lakers. So you're going to want to be prepared as best you can when it comes to managing these guys and managing injury assessment, risk assessment, and all those things when it comes to those the director of like player and health performance operations. So this guy is definitely capable and up to the task. He has got a very long resume of things. And then just to put it out there, this is another quote. So this is actually from what his wife said about him recently. And so he said, she said, you know how people play chess and they think 7 moves ahead? Leroy has thought 7 moves ahead with multiple branches of scenarios, which is something that I like to see. And it's something that I think is starting to build here with JJ Redick here, as the Lakers are starting to get people who are just workhorses, people who love to work, and people who just kind of like stay in that mode and are always looking towards that next step and planning, pre-planning, and just are very prepared individuals. And that's what Dr. Leroy Simmons looks like to me, just outside looking in, as this can be a guy that can really help the Lakers in, like I said, those risk assessment situations, and probably help minimize some of these injuries that the Lakers have been dealing with these past couple of seasons. But that's probably going to be it for this video. Make sure you guys comment down below in the video of what you think about Max Christie. And do you agree with Josh Hollinger, how he was saying that this was probably a bad extension for him and the Lakers probably should have looked elsewhere and even letting Max Christie go? Or do you think it's Max Christie just needs some more time to grow as a Laker player, and then you'll start to see some of those fruits of the labor? Let us know in the comments down below. And then also, guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Like I said before, there's about 78% of you guys who are not subscribed to the channel just yet. And if you guys want more of that Laker news, make sure you guys have clicked that subscribe button so you don't miss any of those updates. I have been your host, Okechi Apakama, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.